First Boxing, and the debate goes on about the morality of the sport following the most recent ring tragedy. Today, the British Boxing Board of Control took a further step in their bid to make the sport safer, if not safe. Ray Stubbs reports.
At a press conference that went on late into the afternoon, the Board of Control released the recommendations of an independent working party that has been sitting for over a year. Under the title Boxing Board Looks to the Future, the recommendations read that the weigh-in time should be at least 24 hours before a fight. Annual brain scans should be compulsory and more sophisticated. Suspension period for boxers knocked out or stopped extended to 45 days. And the ringside doctor to be permitted to draw any matter of concern to the referee between rounds. The change to the weigh-in time is designed to eliminate the dangers of dehydration, a state which makes boxers more prone to serious injury. And in order to stop fighters attempting a big weight loss in a short time in order to make the weight for a contest, random checks in the build-up to a fight are to be introduced as soon as possible.
I'm sure we will bring it in quickly, but it will be random tests. If we make it mandatory, then the rascals will be training themselves for 14 days beforehand, and I don't want that. I want to look at it so that we're catching them on a random basis.
The sophisticated magnetic resonance imaging brain scans are to be introduced annually and are compulsory. It's hoped they will indicate any possible dangers to a boxer's brain. Neurosurgeon Peter Richards chaired the working party. Now, MRI scans, would they give warning signs that would help prevent some of these tragedies?
We would hope so. Initially, we would investigate boxers' brains with very sophisticated MRI scans to see if they've got any underlying blood vessel abnormality which would make them more at risk of getting a brain hemorrhage. And then we would have them annually and compare them to see whether there are any changes developing which might indicate things were going to go wrong.
In all, there were 12 points for boxing to consider, and there was a message of determination. The risks must be kept to a minimum, and if that means boxers losing their licenses, so be it.
It will be their responsibility, and I think that through the media, such as yourselves, they will now be getting a message that it is very much down to them as much to us. We will protect them as much as we can by excluding boxers who shouldn't be in the ring, and they have to accept that. It doesn't matter who they are. If the board or its medical panels say stop, they should stop, go away and enjoy what they've earned.
I think there are a lot of fighters out there who don't know what's coming to them, and they won't believe it when they're told, son, you're not fit to box. They'll scream blue murder, they'll go to lawyers, they will take the British Boxing Board of Control to court under the restraint of trade law. But I'm afraid, you know, it will not, they will not be allowed to box, because hopefully the courts would uphold the medical commission, the British Boxing Board of Control, who say if this man is allowed to continue to fight, he may lose his life.
Reaction to the board's proposals released this afternoon has been immediate. Nicky Piper is the chairman of the Professional Boxers Association.
Well, I think it's great news. They're very good points, and I think it's a great improvement to the medical safety of boxing. I do think a couple of points. The MRI scanning should have come over a year ago. A little bit late in doing that. It's a good medical safety standard. And I do think that the presence of an anaesthetist brings at all times a person, an expert in drug administration, to sedate any injured boxers at ringside. I think that's a point that will need to be introduced in the future.
But will these recommendations substantially address the problems of preventing serious injury? The reaction from Peter Hamlin, the eminent neurosurgeon who treated Michael Watson, has been one of dissatisfaction. He told us tonight that to have any effect, the weigh-in must be moved even further away from the fight. There must be a reduction in the number of rounds, the length of the rounds, and the intervals between the rounds increased. And the glove design, designed to reduce the impact of punches, is a priority. Not surprisingly, the abolitionists didn't hear anything to make them change their opinion of the sport.
Many of us over the years have enjoyed watching boxing matches, but to actually recognise that our pleasure and excitement in watching these means that brain damage, some that we can see, people actually almost breathing their life out in last breath in front of us, is a result of that, I think is really disturbing the public at large.
You can't take the risks away for a man that wants to climb the rocky side of Snowdon this Saturday afternoon. I can't take the risks away from him. I can't take the risks away from Michael Schumacher if he's got Damon Hill on his tail Those risks are there in their sport. The risks are there in mine. But we have to try, as I know in other sports they're doing, to minimize them from the sport's point of view.